Okay, so we are finally back on doing magic with technology. So finally, I did a new commit on my project. So last video, I tried to explain how I mapped the sun and trying to do magic with the sun cycle and map it on the application because my goal doing this application, because otherwise I would just keep it in my notes. I would just keep it there if it was not for doing magic and having superpowers, but it's not the case. So I have to do an application. Remember why? Because if you looked at my past experiments, I need a screen, I need a live screen to do commitment to tap onto, to do commitment into the matter and alter reality. No application nowadays allows me to do that. So that's why I entered this project on doing an application myself and gave me many revelations. But I would prefer to do it with other people, but nobody believes in magic these days. So, oh, it's starting, but actually one day people will understand. So I went back onto this application, and if you remember, I had the cardinal direction that I removed now, and because I was doing magic with, so remember this uh, page of my website. Maybe the website will be deleted soon because maybe I'm going on to another project. Maybe I will put everything onto my app now, but remember, I created a square based on the Kabbalah tree, and it was able to channel all the Taoist elements, so which are linked to all the magic of Taoism and the eight elements and all these five or eight elements. Doesn't matter the backward, the Wuching doesn't matter. All is mapped in here. And then I made an experiment which allowed me to control the weather of an entire city in Japan. And then I made another experiment using social networks, all of that, to manifest people and friends and community in Korea. So after that, I realized, oh, I really need to take a step back and understand more deeply what happened. And also, I had karma coming because I took so much light into my vessel, like we say in Kabbalah. I took so much light into my vessel that my vessel broke. So, which means I had a lot of health problems and broke literally, almost not the bones, but almost. So the tendons. So I'm still healing now. Now I'm in the re-education phase, and I finished the healing phase, but re-education phase. So it's matching perfectly the phase. And much karma coming. I needed 3 or 4 months to understand what's happening. And now I want to share it with everyone. I want to keep going deeper into that and understand what happened deeper. And I took this step back and now I understand even more deeper, thanks to something very profound, which is the Rodin grid. So for people who don't know, Rodin is a guy who created vortex-based mathematics, and he created a numerical map that is infinite, that can scale to the infinite, and that has no errors, that is perfect, and it's like the unified theory of mathematics. So this was kind of my goal, because now that I found friends, my next phase was what do I do with those friends? But my vessel was not ready for those friends, so I needed to learn a lot, and I spent a lot of time with them to learn a lot of things. So uh, so remember the square. So I had the squares there, but I was like, well, what do I put in there? I also have many items. I have a 81 grid, 64 grid, for many different things linked to neurons, AI, and all of this. I guess I can do magic with that in the future. But I didn't know how to put it to connect it with the cardinal directions. I removed the cardinal direction from the diagram here. You can see how to put the cardinal direction, where to look, how to do magic. Like I know this is my head viewed from above, but then magic is really quantum. So in a quantum state, there is not really any cardinal direction, and where to map them, on my square, and well, I can do it. So for example, on those squares, I have cardinal directions. So I also have cardinal directions, but the problem is that first of all, I need GPS to I need to put the GPS in this application to move with the square and all of this. But also the square corresponds to what? Because if the square is moving with the cardinal direction, what to put as an input, output, and the square corresponds to what? We don't really know. And my biggest problem was also it's not scalable. This square, uh, this square is not scalable, which means I cannot turn it into infinite pattern to infinite fractals, that will make sense on a flat map. And basically, this is everything that Rodin did. So I don't know if I have a, yeah, I have some illustration. Uh, I have some illustration. Well, here it's his map. It's infinite, but this is not the one I'm looking for. Okay, so anyway, we'll see it later. We'll see it later, but I didn't have a way to make it infinite. Making it finite has purpose and meaning in real world, in real life, because once you can find it inside, find the infinite factors inside based on the magic I already taught, already made video about it, but that means your vessel starts to be ready to accept multiple relationships, abundance, and infinite expansions as well in any environment. So this is really cheated. But to get there, many things to overcome. So the many things to overcome happen both on my computer and in real life at the same time. I cannot film my life 100% of the time, but uh, this is what happens. So this is what I want to explain to people, what I want to happen to everyone. So how to get from this square or Kabbalah 3 to infinite map. And since there is only basically one infinite map in the mathematical sense that exists, and this is the map of Rodin, but it just there is no other way, there is no other map possible, then I was obviously supposed to fall back onto that. So how to fall back onto that, I didn't know, but I tried many things. So the first thing I want is to make the link with it between this and the Yi King, because the Yi King is already linked to the Pakwa. The Yi King is already linked to the Pakwa. You can see here. You can see the trigrams here. And so the Yi King comes from the Pakwa. It's the same element, same everything. So that means the Yi King is a 64 grid. Okay, here we are. The Yi King is a 64 grid. You can see it here. And so it's a grid mapped to the elements. I don't know if it's infinite or not, expandable or not, fractalizable or not, but it's infinite and mapped to the elements. So I had already the first step. First study, this is exactly what I need. And I will inspire myself about Taoism from many, many things, because actually this era is about heaven and earth, and earth is all about Asia. It's east and west. I don't know how it happened exactly like that in the history or whatever, but now it's clearly like that. Every time I try to search about something about earth or this aspect, this energy, only Asia got the solution, and they got all the solutions actually. But Asia, nobody really hear about it in the spiritual sense. What is their teachings? We hear a lot about science and all their discoveries, but it's completely useless, because this is kind of heaven. Heaven means this is the mind, this is above our heads. So it's completely useless, ungrounded, and unmanifested. Anything unmanifested is not interesting for me, and it should not be for anyone, because people talk about spaceships, but you forgot the Earth. You want to get out of the Earth, you didn't master the Earth yet. So this era is about becoming basically the Messiah, becoming gods that can literally travels in the stars ourselves with our own vessel. The human body is a vessel already. You don't need spaceship. It can help you realize yourself in a quantum way, but that's all. So science, I will talk more about this later. But so there are two arrangements of this. The Pakwa, this image comes from Mentaksha, but you can find it on the internet in anyway, because it just comes from Taoism. And this square is very old arrangement of the hexagrams, and this is the King Wen order. Okay, so this is the King Wen order that I wrote here, and because use the hexagrams, the elements of nature, and everything, I really want to actually make the link with the reading grid, because it's infinite. Then I can do magic infinitely in a quantum way with earth and heaven. That's all. And obviously we need Kabbalah in between, or not in between, but as the root. Kabbalah is the heavens, because you can channel the Sephirot and the energy very easily, and there is everything in Kabbalah already. Just need to make the link. So it appeared strangely that I will show it after, but the square I created. So this is the square I created using the Kabbalah tree. Strangely, it corresponds exactly to uh, the Pakwa if I put it in a square also. I will show it after. But first, the king went order. So the king went order, there is something very simple. Also, I want to say something before anything. I'm not doing any scientific papers or any scientific proof of things like that. For me, people doing that are kind of lost in their mind, lost in the heavens once again. It's totally ungrounded because science doesn't exist. Science is just another paradigm and nothing exists. Like any paradigm, it's just a video game. You create whatever you want, the reality you want. If your scientific paper is the reality you want to create, it's great for you. But that's all. It's not ultimate truth that everybody should follow or believe. So I don't care about that. This is really people lost in their mind. And I can make any proof you want. Like I said in my formation, the only proof that exists is the present. Only proof that exists is the present. Something you cannot explain in the present is something you cannot that doesn't exist. Okay, so that's why I'm always grounding everything into the earth. That's why all my experiments are always real and not only mental or theoric. I won't go in this frame. So uh, yeah, I was saying that because the most important thing for the mind is to make links. Once you make the link, so this video is here to help you make links, but eventually you will have to do it yourself. That's why I'm now creating an application. This video, I won't show anything. I won't show any experiment in this video. I have nothing to show. I didn't film anything, even if it worked. But because now I really want to create an application for people to experiment. I already created everything for people to experiment, but I guess as long as it's not more short term, easy, people won't use it. People won't do it. They can't even believe in it. It's not experimentable anyway. So it's also my bad. But that's why I'm doing this for other humans, not only for me. And so all of this to say, once your mind makes the links between things, so it's very simple. But I will say it again. I say it every time. But if your mind makes, for example, let's take those two images. Okay, they look like random, but or no, because this is the next illustration. So the next demonstration. So let's let's take those two images. They have nothing to do. This is a Kabbalah 3. This is just a diamond grid. But your mind can see them together. Even you right now in front of your screen, you can see them next to each other. So there is a link. That's all. There is a link because there is a link in your eyes, so there is a link in your brain. There is a link. It exists. Anything that exists can exist. Things that can exist in your mind can exist into the matter. It's not the opposite. It's not the other way around. First mind over matter later. Okay? So if I want to make a link between this and this, I can. I just need to find the link. On the link is fine. First of all, on some human find it and share it online. It's fun for all humanity because online game nowadays generate worldwide energy field that anyone can tap in and even unconsciously, even if they don't know. So anyone is getting the belief. That's just how it works because we have beliefs that sharing online. For example, you share online something. You have the belief that anyone can see it, right? You have the anxiety or you're scared. Why? Why is this belief? No one will see it. This video, no one will see it either. Or maybe, I don't know. But why every human in the world has the same fear? Why? Because it is true. Because it exists. Because everyone has access to it. Even if your video has 0 view, everyone in the energy world has access to it. That's why this fear exists. Because it's real. Everything that is inside is real, not outside. It's real first inside, then outside. So that's why I'm sharing online no matter what happens, because I know I'm changing the world at the same time, helping humanity at the same time. So I'm uploading this link into you, and the links I make are very big because linking Kabbalah 3 to vortex-based mathematics and a lot of religions is extremely big for humanity because this is the root of humanity in many angles, many aspects, and from many people, race, and cultures. Sorry. So this is as simple as that. So once you have the link between something in your mind, then this is already scientific proof. Because there is nothing else to do. I will write it so people understand because you don't need anything else than the link in your mind to have a proof. Because once you make the link in your mind, it also manifests in some way into the reality. Sometimes not in the biggest way that we are imagining, but in a small way it manifests. It can even be just a state. You will feel something. Okay. For example, every time I made a leak, I felt completely enlightened and I was a pure channel of God. And in the matter, something didn't manifest as I imagine. It never as you imagine in the matter because you're shifting the realities, of course. But so at the same time, so it's quantum. But anyway, I think you understand this. So now that you know this, I can go back onto my explanations because it will be very simple. Actually, I realized nobody is realizing these simple things. I think it's written online maybe, or even you ask GPT will tell you, but nobody realizes these simple things that is very, very useful. And even more for the rodent grid. So everybody wonders what the king Wen did with this order because it looks like random order of this grid. We don't know. It doesn't have numerical order so much. It doesn't have anything so much. And how did he decide of the numbers of each diagram? We don't know either really. So this is very complex topics apparently for people, but really the reality is very simple. So don't make things too complicated because you're just ruining your life. Complexity is simplicity. So if you look at this, you will realize something very simple. If you look at those trigrams, if you put it in trigrams, this has a binary code. I didn't put the trigrams, we don't need to see that. Actually, this is the same as this is the same here. Okay, those trigrams. Okay, it's not in the same order, but those trigrams. So because it's always 0, 1, 0, etc. This is a binary code. So this binary code, you can translate it in a number. This is as simple as that. So you can translate it in a number, and once it's done, you realize the King Wen order is in the same order as the binary code. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 7, because it's too. Actually, it's useful that I have this. So 2 power of 3 or 8. So it's so you have always 3 bytes of information, and always 0 for each byte, 0 or 1 possible. So 2 solutions. So 2 power of 3 equals 8. Speaking French, equals 8. So this gives you the 8 trigrams of the leaking. That's all. Very simple. If you make just if you put the trigrams together in a binary code translation, then they are all arranged in the right order. Okay, from 0 to 63, it's perfect order. So that means there is an order to this. It's just a binary code order. That's all. There is nothing else to know. Then why did he name it 1, 2, 3, or whatever? This I didn't check it yet, but maybe I will check it in the future and tell you. But it's not something so complicated because everything, if you look at the root of everything, why, there is no end. At some point, there is also free choice. There is also commitment into the present. The present is always empty, and meaning there is all solutions possible. So free choice. Okay. So because the present is always free choice, you can make the choice and then make the best choice possible, the one that makes most sense for the mind and for your era and for the current state of humanity and whatever. But eventually there is always free choice, and the human who is doing the choice is creating the reality himself. So that's all. So that's why everyone needs to make their own link in their mind, because this is what creates reality. This is not the system outside. It's not nothing like that. So I will choose it later, but eventually I'm saying that because if you look online, mostly you will understand, because this is based on nature, that, and this is what is so interesting about Taoism. They don't make anything scientific, even though it is so scientific. They use the organs, the colors, and everything. They make nothing really scientific, but everything poetic, everything symbolic. And sometimes they take one system and the second system is completely different, but they can mix it together just because it's art. Okay, it's symbolic. In symbolism and art, everything works. Just like I told you earlier, you make the link between two things. Anything works. So this is the missing part in a lot of humans right now that I don't understand. But in Asia, it's like that. There is not really any deep mathematical meaning to everything. It's just art at some point, and it also works. So if you look at the rules, it's mostly symbolic and energetic rules. Energetic, how? Because it works in resonance, and resonance is everything. It works in resonance with the principles of nature. So nature has follow some principles. You observe it, you look at it, and oh, it works like that. It's true. So you realize what is the energy, how the energy works together, and you put some rules into it, and then you do what makes sense for you. This is your own art, okay? And there are some interesting rules, which are the main one. First, he pairs the hexagrams together if they are opposite. For example, 1 and 2 are opposites in their how they organized, and the yin and yang organized. And there is also a lot of rotation of 180 degrees. And we'll see that once again. I already talked about it in my formation and everything, but this number 180 degrees is very important for everything, because this is how you open your heart, how you shift reality, how you do everything is 180 degrees. Everything works like that, because this is just a mirror. You have a circle, 360 degree. This represents a mirror with your heart in the middle. Well, this size is just 180 degrees. Okay, so if you want to see the reality from the other angle, literally like a mirror, you just shift these degrees. Okay, this size. So this is why this number is always present everywhere, and this shows that this order also explain how to shift reality, basically, how to change realities. This is absolutely inside of it. So this is to do magic. This is not only to make divinations or whatever. I think people didn't forgot about that, but it's possible. And Taoism is also very interesting because it contains a lot of magic. It's explained in books and everything, so it's pretty well documented, and not like other religions completely disappeared. So that being said, we have a link and we have everything, so we can decide to use it now. We have the binary. We know that the binary code works, so we can decide to use the Yiking now. We have the right because we have the link, we have the password basically. So we can make a grid with it, and more logical way into the modern world because it's binary, and you see it's more logical. But in the future, I will probably make the link with this, because only science and logic doesn't do magic. If you want magic, you need nature, you need the earth, you need the force of the universe, which is this. So it's probably be the next step. Anyway, then I realized, okay, I was talking about this, so this is perfect subject. I need to make this demonstration to explain how I came from the Kabbalah 3, okay, to an infinite pattern, because this Kabbalah 3 is not infinite at all. You will tell me, yes, it's infinite because it's a Merkaba, it's a 60-40 teragon and all of this. Yes, it's infinite in the geometric way, but not in the numerical way. In the numerical way, we have a very big problem. The numerical way, so this is the Sephirot of the Kabbalah 3. We have a very big problem. It's not scalable. So they put Sephirot like that, but just in this order, right? Because this is the flash of creation. So this is the order 1 to the series 1 to 9. Okay, this is how it is ordered in the Kabbalah 3, which is really interesting for many things, but very difficult to get anywhere in the science world or anything with that. So you only stay in the Torah with that, and this is not the goal, because we want to connect all humanity together, and Torah is just one part, and people might not be interested in that. But if you connect to the elements of nature and the planets and all of this, which I'm doing now, this is exactly what I'm doing now, and they say this also in the Kabbalah, in the Torah, that you connect to planets and nature, you can connect to other nations, basically. So this is what I'm doing. You have the sun and nature just in this grid. So this is what I'm doing. I think this is exactly the right way to connect all humanity together. At least this is an attempt, and this is what I want to do. What I will do. So the Kabbalah 3 became this square. This square helped me a lot connected to Taoism and all of this. And then this square, I transform it into this circle, it's the same thing. So if you take the order like this, not the orange uh, lightning, but the order like this is how you transform a square into a linear sequence. Then this gives you this sequence, okay? Which is a very special sequence because here it is not in the right order, here also. And this sequence gives a lot of good things that links Taoism, all of this. Actually, this links directly to the Pakwa. The Pakwa is exactly the same order if you transform it to binary. So, uh, so if you take this table, I will show it again later, but you take the number of the Pakwa instead of the number of the Sefirot, and you have exactly the order of this circle. Okay, actually this order. Um, okay, so the goal was to find an infinite scaling pattern. It took me a long time to realize, but eventually, so I will probably erase all of this, make it cleaner. Uh, okay, okay, so once, so I won't make the whole process because it's useless. It was just inside of me, but basically what I understood is that I need both. This is a quantum square. This square is quantum because it represents the Kabbalah 3 once it is transmuted. So if you remember my demonstration, this is another video, but you those two circles, you fuse them together, so you make a transmutation becoming only one circle, and this gives you this square. Okay, so this is how you go from a Kabbalah 3 to a square or a circle, singular one. So this is quantum, because in the Kabbalah 3 you have two circles. Why? Because this is the duality, it's polarity. You have spirit and matter, but not merged yet. Because why? Because the Kabbalah 3 is a process of merging things together. So this is perfect. That's why this figure is perfect, because if you follow the process of the Kabbalah 3, then you can merge everything with, you can merge any reality with you, integrate everything, understand absolutely everything. Okay, and even create reality, magic, etc. But this process has not been explained in a numerical way, all of this. So this is what I'm doing right now in my life, because this is so important. So maybe this is lost knowledge, I don't know, but whatever. So this is a quantum square, because anything that is transmuted is quantum. That means at this moment, heaven and earth are one, spirit and matter are one, spirit and physical body are one, soul and physical one, all together, okay? So, and the equivalent, the linear square is just, if you want the linear square, what is important to understand in this demonstration is that linear and quantum need to merge. This is a very strange thing, because you might think that quantum is already two reality merged, but actually, if you want something for other people to use that is not only in the present, because that means only me can do this process. Because on something is merged, it's finished. There is nothing to do with it. So we need to give the linear either square or circle or whatever, we don't care, but we need to give the linear formula to people so they can make the process, they can play the game. This is exactly what Kabbalah has done. They just give the linear process, and then if you follow it, you will realize that's all. You will realize that you're quantum and that you're not linear, but the process you give should be linear. Okay, but in this era it's even more different, because everything is supposed to be quantum. This is the ambition. This is the Messiah era. Okay, this is why also maybe I will call this video Messianic Kabbalah, because it's an entirely new type of Kabbalah, and based on I will talk about this later. Based on new type of Kabbalah tree and how you use it. But you need both. You need the system. You need the linear system that allows you to make a process. And at the same time, on the same grid, you need the quantum representation of the process already, because everything is quantum in this era. This is a big mistake. Don't people understand? For example, this technology, I'm here in front of you now. You watch my video now. I'm already, it's like you should realize, you should accept this frame and reality is that anything I'm saying now, you receive it in real time. How is it possible? It's quantum. I literally teleported in front of you. How is it possible? Because everything is quantum. If we don't accept that it's already there, then we will keep chasing something in the future and try to make spaceships. So you cannot go anywhere like that. You need to accept it's already there. It's already there. And it's really already there because our technology is instantaneous. You want to watch my video? My video is here. This is quantum. So there is nothing in error. There is nothing else to do. It's already there. But because the process is continuous, we also need something to play the game and improve continuously. It's just infinite. The universe is infinite, continuous improvement. So it's there and not there, always has been there, everything's there. Okay? But because we want people to experiment it, then how to give them a grid that can allow them to do that? If I just give them that, like, okay, video finished, finish. So can just consume, cannot practice. So that's when I realized that. So this square will be simply 1, 2, 3. Okay, it will be very simple. This is just the 1 to 9 series that everyone knows, which is also this linear process. Okay. And I realized I need to merge those two squares. I need to merge them. And when I merge them, I prefer to take a circle because merging two squares is really, you have to do something like this. It's really not easy. So I took the two circles instead. So those two circles, I took those two circles and I merged them. So basically, because one is scatter in Sephiroth, I realized, and also helping myself with the Marco Rudin grid, I realized that this is the mirror. The mirror is here. Okay, it's not 9 because we're doing heaven on earth. And if I take the what is corresponding in the binary code, maybe did I put it somewhere or what? Yeah. So the binary code corresponding to this square, the transmuted square, sorry, is this one, and because I can see also the Rodin grid that what is the pattern, you can see a pattern in the Rodin grid which is almost the same. It's this I will clear the grid and also like this. It's this 61594, so 8372. So it's almost the same. So this is infinite, by the way. So it's almost the same. 6159. But then the 4 is here. So the 4 is special. 4 has a problem. And 8372 is also not in the right order. But I can find it here. 8372. If I take the linear order of the Sephiroth, I can find it here. But 4 is still kind of a problem. Still strange. So that's why we are here. Okay. So the weird behavior of 4 and our infinite pattern. Okay. Infinite pattern. So this is very important. And why is it like this? Why is it like this? Because 4 is simply Keter. This is 1. Okay. So 4 is corresponding to Keter. And what will happen in the Messianic Kabbalah is that now we don't have only 1 3. One Kabbalah 3 is not enough anymore. Can I do this? Oh yeah. So one Kabbalah 3 is not enough anymore because we need. This is the paradox. It was already here but not here. We need a new system. So we will need two Kabbalah 3 that are linked on Keter, and we need to remove Malchut also. And by the way, in some Kabbalah aspect and paradigms, and when the rabbis explain things, because rabbis are channeling, they just explain things in quantum, they talk often about Atzilut. Depending on the rabbis, I will tell you Atzilut is both Keter and Malchut at the same time. So how is it possible? Because everything is already there, everything is quantum, so it's possible. But you see, if we take the normal mathematics, 1 and 10 are both 1. Because 10 1 plus 0 equal 1. This is digital root, okay? So you can call it whatever you want, but this is usually how we call it. So if you make normal mathematics, it's 1 and 1. So this is the same Sephira. You just that this seed becomes the new root of a new Kabbalah tree. Okay. I don't know where I'm going with this, but so it becomes a new root of a new Kabbalah tree, and it's infinite. Okay, infinite. So this is what we need. This is what we need. But the problem is that we cannot really do it like that, because this Sephira become just a gap space. There is a gap space here that is not needed. So all that we need, maybe use yellow. All that we need is 9 Sephirot. Okay, those Sephirot. All that we need is this, and once we take just this, we kind of have a pakwa, because that is not always represented, but we have a pakwa, we have a square, and this is what I did already with this, by the way, this demonstration. And I said the 10th Sephirah, Malchut, is this. Every Sephirot is here. The 10th one is the big square. This is a fractal already. Okay. But if you want to realize how it's linked, we need this one and this one to be the same. So we need the 3 not to go down and materialize here again. We need the 3 to be there. So basically, why doesn't it? So basically, it will be like that. We make it again. We need to go it this way, and this way there is not really any gap space. There is no gap space like that. This way you can continue like this. Okay, and continue. Okay, and you have a fractal, and here is what is a mirror. This is a mirror. This is 180 degrees once again. If you understand how to get from there to there, you won the game. You won heaven on earth. Okay, so this can be earth, it can be heaven, we don't care. It can be reversed also, we don't care. But we need 2 threes like that mirroring each other. So this is exactly what I did. And when I did that, and instead of taking 2 threes with 18 Sephirot, I resume it to only 9 Sephirot, because I need a pattern of 9, because 9 is a reality. Pattern of 9 is a full pattern, and I want a scalable pattern, so I don't care if I have 18, I just want 9. So I take only basically only yeah, I cut into 6, and okay, and take the same for the 3 above. I will show more clearly after, more precisely. But I take half of this and half of this. Okay, so I have 2 halves now, and one of the half I turn it by 180 degrees once again. So if I take this this half, it is there, 1 2 4 3 5 in blue. If I take this half, it is there, 1 9 8 7 6, okay, in green. So basically I have my yin yang. I have my yin yang basically, and it comes back onto also on other theories I made. I feel like I'm revisiting everything again, increasing, upgrading everything I made already for people again, but the root never changed. But anyway, it's all connected. So I have my yin yang, and here I put one in I don't know how to say in English. I put one here, a bit hidden, because it can be 10, but we never put 10 on a circle, we put only 9. But it's just to show that there is this quantum. Actually, there is this quantum aspect here, that the one kind of merge. The one is here and here at the same time. The one become an axis basically. Just become an axis where there is a mirror. Okay, so one is both here and here, so that's why there is this weird thing. But what we care about is this and this. And you if you put the binary code on this, that is corresponding to the table I showed you already. So this is a table with the elements and all of this. If you put the corresponding elements to this, you finally have the correct scaling pattern. You finally have 6, 1, 5, 9, 4, 8, 3, 7, 2. Okay, this is the infinite pattern we already see. 6, 1, 5, 9, 4, 8, 3, 7, 2. Okay, so you can check. Now we have infinite pattern. So once I had this key, I knew I solved my problem. I knew I solved everything. And it makes perfect sense. You see when I know all of this? Why people don't really make research like that? Because they are not focused on bringing heaven on earth. Bringing heaven on earth. Bringing the Messiah here. They are not focused on this. So they stay stuck in their mind. So they will never get to this realization, which is a quantum realization, which is taking care that you find the scalable pattern from a correct root, which is, in my case, the Kabbalah 3 or many different routes you can think to it, but people cannot realize this circle, this form, this figure. People cannot realize this. They cannot realize, because if you want to realize this, you need to be focused on heaven on earth. You need to understand that there is linear reality, there is quantum reality, that you need both to create a system for humans. You need both for that, because we need that for humans, and that you need the 100-degree rotation to make it work, to make it move at the same time, to give it energy. Okay, and make the mirror, which is the source of love. Source of love is this mirror. This is the heart. Everything. Your heart is the middle of your body. I said it every time. Your heart is the middle of your body. Your fourth chakra. This is the mirror. You have 7 chakra. Okay, so this is what creates reality, love, the heart, everything. Once again. So now that I have this, I have my key, and I have the answer to all my questions, uh, and I have a very good demonstration already. And this is also linked to Kabbalah 3, because this was linked to Kabbalah 3. Okay, so I cannot make animation. If I could make animation, I would animate everything, make the link between everything. It would become such a funny game. But anyway, so having this is solving all the problem inside. Now we understand clearly what's the purpose, what's the goal, how reality works and will work. So okay, so now I explain everything. So 4 is scatter. So that's why, yeah, the 4 has a weird behavior, but this is why it's like that in the binary code. So when you take the table of the elements, the 4 is like that. So the 4, I don't know what it is. Wind. So wind is a breeze. This is a breeze of creation. Okay, so it makes sense. It's a breeze of creation. You create reality from there, just like in any Torah, any Bible, any sacred scripture. So great. And there are 2 type of breath. There is the physical breath, like this, and the breeze of God, that you cannot breathe through your nose or mouth. It's just another thing. Everything has a mirror in the astral world, and sometimes in deep trance or meditation, it can happen that your breeze disappear. How so? Because there is another breeze, which is just energy, linked to the energy. I don't know. I'm not a master yogi yet, but you understand everything is mirror, like I'm explaining here. So Tiferet is also mirror of the heart, but now we put the mirror onto Keter, because we have to Kabbalah 3, and the heart is joining. The heart becomes root and seed at the same time. It's a bit different concepts, interpretations, symbolism, energies. So this is Messianic Kabbalah. This is a new Kabbalah, but it works best for this era. It works best, maybe better, yeah, and for many things, and for many things, yeah, that we want to do, and especially with technology. Technology is not something to reject. It's not something random. It's exactly the key, what will give us all the solutions to Messiah era. So okay, as usual, yes, only key. Yeah. There is no other way to make this key. So infinite scaling pattern here on S390. And also, just like on for this key, this way there is no other way either. So there is different types of grid, but the root principle is the same. You use the same numbers and same patterns because there is no other way, because there is only, the universe is very simple. It's always the same pattern, always the same thing, just different fractals and manifestation of the same thing. So because of that, if you want to scale something, you need to get on the real pattern. There is only one real pattern. So now I found something very interesting. So this is the goal, to scale to the infinite. Is exactly what I was saying now. Scaling things to the infinite. So if you want to do that, there are many ways. I tried many things. I won't explain that. It's just for fun. But I tried to take. You can see this image. I had to take my square, my JC square, this one, and make it into diamond grid, and superpose them together, and applying the digital root onto them, and see if I could find the pattern or not. Because my goal was, if I can find a way from the Sifrod, through the Sifrod, to go from the Sifrod numbers to the nature elements binary Yiking order numbers, sorry, then I have all my links, I have all the keys. I know the link between heaven and earth. That's all. So I wanted to go from this column to this column. And it worked, but in such a strange way that I rejected this demonstration. But if I put some square, I superpose them together, and I make a certain number of clicks, I can find the pattern. 4, 6, 1, 5, 9, 7, 2, 3, 8. You can see, and it's scalable, and it scales 3 times. There is 3 fractal, and you need a certain number of clicks. Yeah, you need 3 fractal, because if you want the number of clicks to be also infinite fractal, then you need to do that. So I don't know exactly why it works, but I need a certain number of click numbers, so those 3 columns, and when I put those 3 fractals together, it gives me all the, basically, the Mobius circuit of macro-Rodin. So the triplets of numbers that are very important. All those triplets correspond to, so this becomes 12, so 3, digital root 3, this 6, and this 9. Okay, so we have only 3, 6, 9 if we add the numbers, and we have only the same triplets, always the same triplets, like that. And if I put it in a table of 64 squares like the Yiking, then it also gives me some order for the Yiking, but I don't want, it's not really logical, so I don't, not simple enough. So I rejected it, but I just want to show that there is, again, a link between my square and those numbers and all of this. It's that shows that this square is real, this square, because this square is a new square. New square, nobody made, even ever made this square. So people can reject it, but once again, it shows that it's connected to all the right numbers, all the things that exist already, all of this. So this square is real. Anyway, so geometry is super all, yeah. Because I was too much focused onto the numbers, I wanted to find some geometry. That's why I get more onto this after. You focus more on the geometry, the art, and all of this, and you get the answer. Yeah, the binary code illusion was something very hard to remove from my mind. So binary code, because we define binary by 0, 1 here on the screen, like everyone sees that, we think reality is dual. We think reality is duality, but this is very wrong, very false. And Marco Rudin explains that very well. I should put a link to the, okay, I will create it now. Very simple. That's all. So Marco Rodin, you can check him, and all of his work is very amazing and insane, but very mind based for me, and so it can be careful. It can really destroy your mind if you're not careful, because I feel it's not grounded enough, at least for me. So there is no application into the matter. They're trying. I mean, I don't know everything about their work, but they're trying. But For me, if it's not in the present, not applicable to every human in the present now, right now, it's not good. So for me, the current technology is always nice. It has meaning, otherwise, it will not be there. God is perfect, so no need to lose ourselves so much into future technology. But anyway, and the human body also has so much power already. But anyway, I think we agree on to that. But so the I need to take some notes and think a bit about that because I'm also matrixed by that. Zero and one is like you only see zero and one. Well, how is it? So the world is binary. The world is dual. How is there any spirit into that and all of this? But you realize when you do this, uh, that the binary is looping on to every six numbers. Okay, every six numbers, the binary code is looping 1, 2, 4, 8, 6, 7, 5, and it's looping it to the infinite like that. So you realize it's not binary code, it's just the binary code is just a frame that makes you loop again onto the real frame, which is this, okay, which is the nine numbers, which is vortex mathematics and all of that, the real mathematics system and base 10 system, but not base 2. Okay, it's just another way to make you realize that. That's all. Because real binary is just that. And zero one is optical illusion. You see that, so you think that, but it's not because everything you see is true for your mind. So you think that. But if you connect to the spirit, you see, it's not true. That's all. So you need to make some demonstration for that. So even if it gives the same, this is a metaphor of reality. Okay, this is the illusion of Maya, of this world. It's you see something outside, you think it's like that. You don't see the root, you don't see how it works from the spirit, you don't see the truth about that. So you see binary code, you think, oh, reality is binary, that's why you don't see the root. Because your brain works like that and the entire world has put this frame onto it, then you get lost. So we need to forget this. That's why I'm showing this. Then this is also very important. I will show that now. I don't know if it will open in the right window, but anyway, yeah. So 2 to the power of 8 is very important for me because it's also uh, linked to not only binary code, computer logic, but DNA and language. And this is how I can change my realities through language. I mean, I did experience about that and I wrote about that on my website, but you can realize how speech is changing your reality because it follows the binary code. So I showed already this, how the I said French language, but recently I realized that every language of the world follows the same structure actually. This is a root structure, 2 to the power of 8. And basically the French language structure or Western structure follows this. And there is also spirit, which is the breeze between the words. So spirit here in the DNA, the red dotted line in the DNA, is the spirit, is the energy that we never show, we only show this. And so again, Rodin from this, and this is my own drawings, very simple because I only take the 8 phase and I show how it's an electromagnetic wave in 2D, but I need to make it differently. But DNA makes it perfectly, and so it's already there. And this is the breeze and the space you put between words when you speak or write. Okay, so this is already also there, but I didn't write it on this table. This is in my formation. So this is very, very important to understand that. Yeah, so very important. So why is it also important for Kabbalah and all of this? Because it looks like I'm losing myself, but no, it has deep meaning because Messianic Kabbalah is formed on a very, I don't know, on a very special theory that I got downloaded when I was young in my mind. So I saw that and I didn't know how to translate it. And literally in my first book, I translated it into 0 and 1. I didn't know what to say. Now I'm putting words, many science, many layers onto it for people to understand, even creating an application. I'm 29. It took me so many years because every time I discover something new, so it's fascinating, but it's like I already know the truth since ever. So nothing new under the sun, like Solomon would say. Okay. King Solomon. So uh, I literally wrote it into binary code. I didn't know how to explain it, but I also had this. I also had this, and it was making sense. Only recently, uh, during the time of this year, the beginning of this year, I started to make it sense with uh, the Kabbalah tree in a real energetic way, and with real words and real things that people could understand, relate to, and use. So I made a little poem here explaining how it's each sephira, the energy of each sephira, so people can understand better through a poem. And this is the root of all the Kabbalah tree because I'm creating many Kabbalah tree. For example, the circle of nine here is Kabbalah tree about the sun. I didn't write everything here, but this is all in my notes, and I created dozens and dozens of Kabbalah tree, and they all follow the same energy because the energy is here. The energy is in the Sephirah. Then it contains many words and all of this. If you look at the Zohar, so this is a book about the Torah and all of this, it's just a sequence of Kabbalah trees. Everything is translated into Kabbalah trees, so I'm doing the same thing. Everything in the world can be translated into Kabbalah tree, but they are sticking themselves to the Torah. But in my case, because I'm supposed to bring order into all the chaos of the world, which is not linked to the Torah so much, uh, I created this Kabbalah that can create miracles on anything and bring order into everything inside of you. That's all. Not for people for the world, but inside of you also then for the world. But you can realize this is also how I healed my pubalgia. I told you I had a lot of karma for months after the last experiment. How I healed myself, it was also miracles based on Kabbalah, based on Messianic Kabbalah. I use this table. I will publish. I already published on my website, on my YouTube, how to heal yourself, anything using Kabbalistic energy, the Sephirah. You can download healing in your body, just following a simple process for anything. And it was kind of miraculous, honestly. And I know my body now will never get sick at the same place for the same reason. It's impossible. It's eternal then. When you get the light, it's eternal because the light was already there, but you lost it outside. That is all. Okay? And it follows this theory, binary code, and the energy that I explained here, everything I explained here. So it's all in my note, but I should do a formation about this. Maybe in the future, in the near future, I will do formation, a big something very organized about this. But actually, nobody. It should come at the right time. Okay, so this is very important because now I won't explain this in this video, but this is how you use the Kabbalah suite. This is literally the practice, the practical side. What you do into the matter is that using this binary code. And I wrote this here, and this is also how I created my AI. You can check my website. Okay, everything is here. Everything, all I created my story, all of this, and the game I tried to create, the AI, all of this. I tried to create so many things that nobody used, so it's okay. But I have a lot of fun anyway, and everything I created is there, and it's based on this. I didn't even write it on the website because it's so deep. This is, yeah, anyway, this is the revelation I had when I was 13 or 14, and nothing changed since then. I was trying to explain it different ways. So those are different. Okay. So this binary code is can be described like this. So this is 0 1 0 1 0 1. This is the 3 bytes. Okay, I didn't really separate it, but those are the 3 bytes together. Okay, the 3 bytes are described like this. So and it has very understandable meaning in real life for any situation of your life. Okay, so it's not only binary numbers, but it has more understandable meaning in your life. For example, non and non means comfort and uncomfort. So you are in comfortable situation, yes or no. When you're at home, it's comfortable. When you go out of home, it's uncomfortable. So from there, you can start to describe all your life, basically, because everyone does this every day. So, so this is my goal, to make it practicable, for everyone. Not totally practical, also practicable. Yeah, also practicable. Then I tried to describe it to make a new tree, but differently, because this is linear binary code, but I wanted to make it kind of like a parquet. So there is 8 solutions, right? Because here I have 6, but there is 8 solutions. I wanted to put those 8 solutions in the Kabbalah tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is now always linked to 9. Gebra is the 5th Sifrat. Why? Because when you base yourself on Earth, 5 is the navel, 5 is the grounding center, 5 is the gravity point. I will show it. So in this square 5, you can see 5 here in the center. Okay, this is a quantum transmuted Kabbalah 3 square based on nature and Earth. Not based on, but translating nature and Earth. So for Gebra, I don't put any binary code. Okay, but for the other one, the 8 to the 1, I put Malchut disappear, so we don't care. Da'at also is invisible. Okay, unless it is already transmuted, I will show it later. So now I have placed and I put them in the same order as the Pakwa. Okay, because the Pakwa is also linked to the binary code. So I linked the binary code I discovered when I was young to the binary code of the Pakwa and put them together. Does it work or no? Yes. I described everything there. I literally channeled it, so I am no really. I won't explain it here, and this is a long text and all of this, but it has the same energy. And I realized, especially for 2 and 5, it became crazy for 2 and 5 because I started to write the same. So it was really a quantum process. I'm realizing by doing this, I can make you realize more or less, but it's very difficult. So a video, but I was writing through all of this. When I started to write the text for 2, it was approximately the same text for 5. I realized there were mirrors, and I realized that it was what Marco Aurelian was already saying. So I realized it was true. All of this was confirmed through from many different sources. So I mapped the binary code into a Kabbalah tree and another source showing that it's working. So this is kind of crazy because that means it's linked to many things, AI, everything, and everything I did in the past and future. So okay. And then we have something even more interesting, is that there is a shift of polarity. So the polarity is this. I put this, actually, yeah, it's not in the right order, like that. So I put this as the second byte. So this is this, or the second byte here, for example. In every binary code is the same. And you can see it shifts polarity sometimes. So negative, positive, 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 negative, negative, negative. Yeah. So we can realize that there is a shift in polarity at different key points. So Keter, Yesod, Tiferet, and Chesed. So Chesed, all those key points correspond to when there is kind of a bridge. It's kind of like this. It's kind of, there is two waves. Kind of every time there is a contact between heaven and earth, the two waves, there is something happening, manifesting in the two dimensions, and is defined by a change in polarity. What was negative ons becomes positive just after, and it's also same here, negative. Okay, so it's shifting at every commitment into the matter, and you can verify it in your life. Every time you do something, some action into the matter, oh, everything shifts. If you're sensitive enough, you can see it, and all your mind shifts. Everything that was negative becomes positive, and vice versa. Yeah, so these points seem to function as transitional gates, but ultimately every cipher is both negative and positive, so this is not really a thing to take into account, but I just want to show where the things cross paths and where there are commitment to the matter, because usually when you make the process of the Kabbalah tree for anything, whether it is magic or anything, you will see when you are the Tiferet Sifra reality change, when you are Chesed reality change, when you are Yesod reality change, Yesod Malchut. Okay, and Malchut is now Keter also, so Yesod Malchut Keter. Okay. So yeah, there is no change of polarity, but you go to the void, so chase it. So there is also a shift here. Um, So the table I already showed you in advance. So this matching our table of elements. This is the JC order. This is the linear self order. I won't spend more time on this because we already talked about this. So now that we have all of this, we can go to the demonstration. So the real demonstration, I will do it in live so people can experience it. You can also experience the quantum state by looking at the video, because looking at geometry and just having my vibration, also sharing the energy, looking at geometry and what happened in the video already makes the sharing aspect of the energy and the quantum process and the quantum state happen inside of you at the same time. So it will be the same process as the other video about transmutation. I will stop the video now and make another video, and I will see you in the next part.